Our world is in a mess today. We know that. You know, for so many years as Americans, we had the luxury, I guess, of being able to just, of seeing the turmoil on planet Earth as we read the newspaper or watch television. And then the internet more recently. And we found, especially after 9/11, we began to get the reality of this stuff, you know, on planet Earth, the confusion, the chaos, the death, the murder, the sadness and the tears that are going on all over this world, but it's come home now. It's been like ever since like 9/11, we've experienced tragedy after tragedy. I think not so much that there have been more tragedies, but the tragedies have become more real to us as individual Americans. You know, having been raised military and served military, and all my family, brothers and friends and sister, military. The reality of war and the chaos and the turmoil on this planet has been more real to us. But now for everyone. And what's interesting is how shocked we are and on how terrible the reality of life and death, of death especially, can be. That it's almost amazing us, and this is something that's not new at all, you know. It's like the United States as far as the population, the civilian population. Even the police force, you know, I would consider the civilian population, you know, within the country, we are all being touched. Things are getting kind of dismal, kind of dark, as far as we can see now, as Americans. And I guess it's pretty troubling to me as a minister, because what I see even in Scripture as we read, we understand things are supposed to get bad. Things are supposed to be dark and dismal and all, but in the midst of the darkness, in the midst of all this chaos, the church is supposed to be a light in the midst of the darkness. Like a lighthouse, you know, they're shining and giving away a path toward people who want wellness, but we find the church's members' lives are no different than the rest of the world. So it's pretty disheartening as a minister, as we recognize the role that we're supposed to have. But the role that we've been playing is not too different than anyone else. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I believe that this is true. I believe God is real. I believe that Jesus is for real. I believe that we as the children of God have been sort of blessed to proclaim a particular message of peace to the world, but somewhere we've lost it, somewhere we've dropped it. We've dropped the baton. Those disciples that we read about, or the apostles after Jesus had left in Scripture, that are described as those of having turned the world upside down because of the message of Jesus Christ that was passed on all throughout this planet Earth, this world. But it's like, especially in this last century, or probably more centuries in this last century, but the church has, in a sense, put the world back to how it was. And the message of Christ is not the message that we've been proclaiming. The only way we're going to find peace, the only way we're going to find wellness is to try to figure out where we went wrong, find out where we've deviated, even blindly searching and groping around, but finding that baton we dropped and picking it back up and carrying it as we're supposed to be carrying it. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge to us, because we're going to have to challenge ourselves and the mindset and the attitudes that we've had and the things that we've bought into.